I'm Francis Sollano. I'm an environmentalist, an artist, as well as a designer. I do fashion, more specifically Trashion or trash fashion. I've always been passionate about working with the environment and with our trash and garbage problems. And as an artist or a designer, I love fashion, lifestyle. And so I chose Trashion. I could remember, when I was still a kid, mga candy wrappers, I would make them into bracelets, accessories. So mga 5 years old pa ko at that time. Little did I know na that was already the start of something right now. So sa Trashion na part, it all started around 2012. In fact, it was around in this area where nag-drive ko, and I got stuck in traffic because it was flooded all over the place. And so when I went back home, I realized now we should do something about our solid waste management, about our plastics, about garbage. And so I realized na, hey, since I've always wanted to do fashion, why not create Trashion? Fashion out of trash. And so it all started there, creating sculptures and dresses, jewelries out of recycled materials. Amazing story is that the first article that released about Trashion here in the Philippines, or at least in Cebu, was an article by Sunstar. It talked about the jewelry that I made. That was way back 2013. And so from there, it created traction and it caught the attention of other shows abroad. And so we started exhibiting in Singapore, in London, in New York. And it was really great because we were getting printed and glossy pages. We were getting mileage. However, I felt na I should be doing something more, and it should be something more towards the community. I'm working with our youth organization called Youth for Livable Communities. And I'm very blessed to say that I'm an educator for our next generation of artists and designers. I've always loved working with the youth and the kids. In fact, our platform, Youth for Livable Communities, we work closely with young kids, ages 14 to 18, all the way to 25. And I've always had that passion. If these kids would be better artists and better designers than I am, or the ones who are existing right now, then probably we would be able to send them out of the country and say na, hey, the Philippines is a creative melting pot. Cebu is a melting pot of creativity, artistry, and design. And we'll never know that these kids will be at the forefront to lead the world about design and the arts. And that is where my heart is always for the kids, for our next generation, actually. Currently, we are facing the fourth industrial revolution, meaning nanata sa age nga internet is so fast, data, transactions. We are now looking at artificial intelligence. We are looking at robotics. The question is, unsay role sa creatives and artists and designers in this shift of technologies? Will we see a future na robots will be doing art? And if that's the case, what will be our role as artists and creatives? And so the way I see it is that we artists and designers will be complemented with the new technologies rather than being replaced. Because I always believe that creativity of the human mind and of the human spirit will always be pure and authentic. I was always being questioned about my legitimacy as an artist or as a designer. Kay I didn't go to design school man or art school. Yet a lot of people would always say, it's all about your passion ba. And so the challenge has always been to showcase ba that every one of us is creative. Every child was born an artist. And that's my challenge that I always constantly put into the hearts of the children or the kids that I work with. Huh. My inspiration will always be the idea that this is not about me. My inspiration is whenever I look into my students or with our kids in YLC, they always inspire me to do better at my craft. Because if they see that I'm doing good at my craft, it wouldn't be imposing to them that they have to be good as well. Rather, it is giving them an experience and inspiring them to do good as well. And that it's not just about me or about them, but it's about the entire spectrum of the country ba? I always begin with the materials. Okay, materials-based artist man ko. Since going back to Trashion or fashion with trash, I start with unsa man akong ganahan i-work with, plastic bottles ba or metal, bisag unsa nga ako makitaan. So I start with the materials. And I normally already have an idea of the aesthetic na I am known for, which is either simplified or organic. So from materials, aesthetic, and then form, I put them together, and then it's always a process of experimentation, material manipulation, making sure nga while manipulating the materials, wala ko nag-emit too much of carbon emissions. My carbon footprint is still low, meaning wala ko nagsunog sa mga plastic. So I have to make sure nga akong process itself is still environmentally friendly. The best practice that I could say is always research about the material. There are several types of plastics. We have PET1 and whatnot. No? Research about the material, unsa iyang limits of heat and kano sa siya mo turn into gas, inguna na ba, so that it's not emitting harmful gases to the ozone layer. I'm not saying I'm against plastic. What I'm saying is that we have to research and develop new technologies to hopefully have alternatives on plastic, such as tapioca plastic. It's still plastic, pero biodegradable, and it comes from plants. But yes, tapioca plastic or seaweeds plastic. So what I'm saying is that we have to research alternatives. Humility is quite important. A lot of us in the creative industry, we tend to have that God complex because we are always exposed to the limelight, being printed in glossy pages, in glossy magazines, and then we forget where we came from. Humility is a strong foundation for any creative and artist. Because if you learn humility, you know that you will always be grounded. And by being grounded, you know na you're nobody better than anyone. I still firmly believe that if you work with all your heart and pour out your soul into what you're doing and working smartly into it, then you will get where you want to go, and as well as constantly evolve. So work hard, work smart, and constantly evolve. One definitely is trust the process. I lost my mom because of cancer. Namatay siya when I was still 11 years old, 12 years old. And ang gitudlo sa mong papa namo is just trust lang the process and you will eventually understand things. Trust that the universe and the Lord is working towards something better. Second is that always value relationships. You can find another job. Yet it's important if you keep your relationships with your family or the people that you choose to be your family and your friends. Always keep it. Thank you for having me here at Masterminds, and I hope you would also follow our social media pages. Instagram at Francis Sollano Art, at Francis Sollano Fashion, and Facebook is Francis Sollano Art, and our website is www.francissollano.com. Thank you so much.